Hey, what's up, guys? This is Adi from ShastryNation, and today I'm going to be taking on the task of reviewing the 7th installment of the Star Wars series, The Force Awakens. Alright, so first off, the movie was really good. I think it really brought back some of the characters and the franchise as a whole back into the front of our minds after so many years. I can't really wait. I really can't wait. Sorry, I really can't wait to see what J.J. Abrams has in store for us for episode 8 and 9. So for this review, I'm going to be breaking it down into 3 different parts: acting, visuals and sound, and then finally I'll have the story as a whole, and I'll talk about that. Don't worry, there aren't any spoilers. You'll be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this review. So first I'm going to be tackling acting. The acting in this movie I thought was really good. The whole cast really portrayed their parts, and it really gave us a window into learning about their characters. So one shout out that I have to make is that I have to give, I guess. One shout out that I have to give is to Adam Driver, who played Kylo Ren. His acting, as you'll see in the movie, it clearly shows how torn apart he is, and the emotional struggle that's going on inside of his mind. And I think, you couldn't portray that character better. He really did a good job, and half the time he was wearing a mask. And so you can only tell that, by taking off his mask, the effect is only multiplied, and that was certainly the case. Some of those scenes where he did take off his mask or hard hitting, those were good scenes, and I really want to see where J.J. Abrams takes this in his next movies. So now that we're done with acting, overall I thought the acting was good though. Alright, so let's move on. And so we'll move on to visuals and sound, which is the next thing that I'm going to talk about. Alright, so visuals and sounds. So the scores were simply amazing. Many of the scores that they used were directly from the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, which isn't a bad thing. And so what they did was they changed up a little bits of it, and they put in some things that were memorable and things like that in there. But the new scores are what are really good about it, are what I really want to focus on. And so the new scores were also amazing. They really brought together the scenes. And so one I have to mention is the scene where we're first introduced to Rey as a character. And in this scene, they use music that really shows us what type of a character Rey is, and half the time she doesn't even have to talk. That's how good this music is to show us what type of a character she is. And so obviously, if you want to go and listen to this music, it's called Rey's Theme. Just go and search it up on YouTube. It's good. It's made it onto my playlist, and that's saying something. I don't really take in a lot of music, but I only take in the good ones, and this is one of them. So definitely have a listen. Alright, the visuals looked amazing. So the battles in the ground, in the air, lightsaber battles, everything looked so awesome. Seeing that it was a Star Wars in modern with modern graphical technology was a dream come true. They really did a good job. I even compared it to 1, 2, and 3, but without the horrible storyline that there was. So it was definitely a step up from even 1, 2, and 3. And so I really have to say that the movie was more it was filmed more like 4, 5, and 6. But faster pace. 4, 5, and 6 I thought were really slow paced, but this kept the action going really, really fast, which I thought was good. And so I thought, the inclusion, sometimes the Star Wars formula was really well included into the story, but I thought at sometimes it was too much, almost, and it really didn't, it really it made me not, it detached me from the experience, which is kind of weird, and I'll explain why when we talk about the story. Alright, so why do I think that the Star Wars formula was followed too much, or to a fault almost? Well, the overall story basically models that of A New Hope, so episode 4. And I thought that wasn't a good choice because you could almost tell what was going to happen even before it did. It was really predictable, and I thought that was kind of an iffy choice by them. So I do have to mention that the movie did a good job reintroducing older characters, like Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Leia, and C-3PO, R2-D2, things like that. So they also did a good job alluding back to the original trilogy, and they made some jokes, and things like that really brought us back to those 3 movies that were so good. But sometimes though it seemed a little forced, and you'll know what I mean when you see it, but it seemed a little forced, and so it really took us out of the experience. Many of the characters were developed in a meaningful way, but some, like the pilot, I really wanted to have developed more. I really wanted to know about what his character was, but really we didn't see anything more about and so my example would be the pilot. We really didn't see anything after, we only saw him in a few scenes, and that's about it. So I would like some more explanation in future movies. So if you're listening, J.J. Abrams, get some more explanation in there so we can know what's happening. And so you'll see this as a big trend in most of the movie. There are a lot of questions unanswered, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna, answer in the new movies that are coming out, but I don't know. So they leave out, a lot of crucial details. It's not a movie as a whole. I think it's almost like a base ground with which they can move on and make other movies and, really build a new identity for Star Wars, which is good. But, for the most part, I'd rather have some questions answered, some things answered, rather than just starting a movie and not having answered anything. Alright, so final thoughts. Overall, I thought the movie did a good job bringing back the franchise. And so I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but I really did think that it did bring the franchise it really did bring back the franchise after many years. So what really ruined it for me was the parallel structure between A New Hope and this. And it was basically the same. You could tell almost everything that was happening. Even to some degree, some of the characters could even be matched up to certain characters in 4, 5, and 6. In 4, and there's some aspects of 5, in there, but mainly you could tell that it was 4. And so to me, it just seemed like lazy screenplay and like lazy writing and things like that. I really didn't think they could have developed the story more. They could have made it different, but they decided not to. Alright, so here are the scores. Visuals and audio, I'll give a 10 out of 10. It was good. The visuals were amazing. So then acting will give a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because, there were some characters that really didn't do their part correctly. But acting overall was good, and Kylo Ren's acting was, bumped it up from a 7 to a 9 almost. That's how good that was. Alright, so then for storyline, I'll give a 5 out of 10. And then the average for all of that, I just added it up, divided by 3. I got an 8 out of 10, which isn't too shabby. Which isn't too bad. Sorry. Which isn't too bad. So overall, everything was perfect except for the storyline. It was so derivative of A New Hope that it really didn't make any sense to me, and that's really the only complaint I have about this movie. Other than that, it's a great movie, I don't know. Hopefully they answer a lot of the questions that they had. Maybe, hopefully they create something new with it and run with it, They did a good job reintroducing the old cast, things like that. And I really want to see what happens in the next one. Alright, so all the Star Wars clips that I used in this video are courtesy of, and I give them all the rights to it, of Disney. Give them all the rights, it's theirs. I'm just using it to further my point, so I guess it falls under free use, right? Okay, I don't know what to say. Alright, other than that, hit the like button. I already mentioned that. I don't know why I'm saying it again. Hit the subscribe button. I'll make more of these video reviews of movies and things like that as I see them. And I might even have a discussion with one of my friends about the Star Wars movie. And we'll see where that goes. a spoiler discussion for you guys who haven't watched the movie yet. So let's subscribe to see that, I guess. And I make weekly biology videos. All these types of I make all these types of videos, you know, all the time. Or at least I try to. You know, I have stuff that comes up and I can't at some point. But I will try to keep a regular upload schedule as much as possible. Other than that, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. And don't forget to, you know, subscribe. And may the Force be with you. Sorry, I had to play with this. This is like... I mean, it's all beaten up and stuff, but, you know, it's pretty cool, I guess, still.